How to be a professional YouTuber. Maybe. Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Elisa and I'm the Mindful Makeup Artist. And if you are wondering why my laundry bag is over there, it's because my cat is sleeping in it. So if you see it move once in a while, that's the reason. Today I wanted to talk about something a little bit more spiritual, if you want to call it that. I'm always a little bit afraid of using the word spiritual because I think it's very like, if you don't consider yourself a spiritual person, hearing the word spirituality might really trigger those people and be like, oh, spirituality. But it's nothing too out of this world. It's just something very basic, and I just want to talk about something that I experienced and how it changed me as a person, because I feel like I evolved as a person, and I think it might be a way of dealing with bad things in your life. And if you apply it, then maybe you will just cope with bad things in your life in a different kind of way. Or maybe it can be a message that something good can come out of something bad. Because basically the title of this video, I think I'm gonna call it How Breakdowns Can Lead to Breakthroughs. And that's exactly what happened to me. So I'm just gonna tell you a little bit of a story, and I hope it's interesting. Where to begin? It all happened 2 years ago. It was a time where a lot of different things started to go wrong. And before telling my story, it's almost as if I'm in one of those AA meetings. I'm gonna tell you my story. It's nothing too dramatic. And I know that there are people who go through way bigger issues than what I'm about to tell you. And I don't want to pretend like I know it all, I've been there, I know what it's like to feel this or that way. But maybe me sharing my point of view might help those people as well. So the first thing is that, a cliche, but I was kind of into a guy, and I'm not gonna lie, I was maybe hoping that something official would come out of it. And then it turned out that he didn't look at it that way. And I was quite devastated because I really felt like we were connecting in different kinds of ways, both physically as mentally, as liking the same sort of things. So that was one thing that happened. A second thing that happened is that my grandfather was about to die, which was unexpected when it happened, because I mean, he was sick and he had been sick for a while, but it was just one of those moments where all of a sudden things start going that way, and yeah, it leads to the inevitable, difficult word. And then another thing is that I really started to doubt myself. I had just graduated from makeup school. I had done all the basic trainings, and it was this moment where I felt like, now it begins. When I was still in class, I was sort of in this comfort zone, because the idea of doing this as a hopefully full-time job was still like something far away. And then all of a sudden I was graduated and the school stopped. And it really felt like, okay, now I have to do it. Now I have to start achieving things and trying to make my way as a makeup artist. But I was also doing another job at the same time. So immediately I felt like, how am I going to do this? Because this is not the kind of job that you graduate in and there will be all kinds of company waiting for you to work for them. It's not like that, because it's something more artistic and creative. So it really, I think it's really impossible to graduate from makeup school and be a full-time makeup artist just like that, unless you are maybe very rich and you don't need another income. But I'm not very rich and I really needed another job. And I just didn't see how I would do it. I mean, how could I do makeup stuff if I was doing this other job? So that was one issue. And then the second issue that I really had was, like I said, the self-doubt. I don't know where it came from, but I really started to compare myself to other people, to other makeup artists. I think when I graduated, I'm 27 now, and I graduated at the age of 25. And I know makeup artists who graduated at the age of, 23 or 22 or 21 or, everything younger than me, and who already achieved like amazing things. And it really made me feel like, wow, those people are so much younger than me and they have already achieved this and that. Who the hell is waiting for me? And what can I achieve? Like, how could I possibly be at that level of skills one day? Because that's also something that I did. I was comparing myself to those makeup artists, and I just really had the feeling like, okay, I did all these trainings and I'm a good makeup artist, but then you see all those creative and amazingly avant-garde looks on social media, and it just really made me feel like I am not good enough to do that. And I just had this idea in my head like, am I good enough? Will I ever be good enough? And just so many questions about my future, and it was so annoying because I was so convinced even back then that makeup was really something that I wanted to do for the rest of my life, or at least one of the things that I wanted to do for the rest of my life. But I was really in this zone of self-doubt and questioning myself. And that, in combination with the guy that I was into and my grandfather that was about to die, just really made me feel so sad. I was so sad. I don't know why, but I know why, but I wasn't that person normally. Even now, I'm usually a very optimistic person. I try to look at things from the bright side. But back then, I was feeling so different. I remember coming home from work and I just started to cry. Because I had all these things going on, and I don't know, I was just feeling really sad. And I remember that I even thought, am I getting depressed? Is this the start of a burnout? And I couldn't believe that it would be that, because it's not that I have been working so hard that I would have like a burnout, or, that I would get depressed. But it wasn't anything like me to feel so sad. Yeah. And for some reason, I don't know what the actual moment was, but because I think I felt like that for about 2 weeks. So it wasn't anything too serious. It wasn't an actual, I wasn't actually depressed or anything. But I think maybe if I wouldn't have come up with a solution, then maybe it would have, I don't know. I'm not a psychologist, but maybe it would have turned out into a burnout or something like that. Or something, mental, there's all these sorts of mental illnesses. So, who knows? I don't know. But I can only say how I felt. And for some reason, I still don't know if it was like a coincidence or if... But anyways, I was scrolling. I was on YouTube one day and I saw this video about like meditation. And I thought, maybe because I'm feeling this way, I should try to meditate again. Because it is something that I did once in a while, but I sort of only did it when I needed it. So I think the last time I meditated before my breakdown, as I like to call it. I think the last time I meditated was when I had to take my driver's test. But I didn't really like, I usually did it when I had exams, but I never really did it on a regular, you know, I didn't do it every day, not even every single month, just when I needed it. And I thought, you know, maybe this can help me to meditate and maybe find a certain calmness again. So I started doing that. And then another thing that happened is because of watching some of those meditation channels and meditation videos, I think I discovered the account of, or no, the YouTube channel of Aaron Doughty, and I think that's when like a whole new world started for me. I just found out the whole law of attraction thing. And there's a lot to say about the law of attraction, but long story short, you know, for those of you who don't know what the law of attraction is, basically it says that you attract what you put out. So to simplify things, if you constantly have this idea or this energy of I'm not good enough, I'm never gonna achieve anything, then that is exactly what you will achieve. On the other hand, if you send out positive things and good vibrations, you will achieve things. And maybe not the things that you initially thought you would achieve, but other things that might be good for you. That's a very simple explanation of the law of attraction. For me, that was this very spiritual thing that I thought, so I can just say that I want something and then I will get it. It's like, is it really that easy? Is life so easy? But the thing is, when I started to think about it, it really connected with me. Because for instance, you know, up until that moment, I wasn't massively lucky with the boys. And I just remember that every time that I was in a relationship or that I was into a guy, I always had this fear that he would break up with me. And then in the end, that always happened. So it really made me think like, oh, could it be? Could it really be that? So I was really curious, and I think I went to the bookstore the next day and I bought the book The Secret, which is like the classic book for people who want to get into the law of attraction or who want to know, get to know about, you know, how it works. And I think that was the start of something new for me. It really made me realize that I can somewhat control my life. Maybe not necessarily exactly what's going to happen, but I did realize that if I have good vibrations, if I have that, then eventually, you know, the universe has your back and the good things will happen to you. And I think that some people would call that my spiritual awakening, and I like to think of it that way because I completely changed as a person and I started to look at things in completely different ways. Now, I do want to say this as well, because once you discover the law of attraction, it might be so easy to want to have too much or to really, you know, I was also a little bit out of control when I discovered the law of attraction, and I was trying out all these different methods to attract things. But I was so, you know, I was really trying so hard, and when you try so hard, nothing is really gonna happen, because that's, you know, that's the irony of the law of attraction. Like, you can achieve what you want or what you desire, because that's, you know, wanting is not a good word in spiritual communities. But, you know, you can get what you desire, but you can also not try too hard, because then you won't get it anyways. It's really not that complicated. It's more about living in the flow. Is that an expression? It's more about being in the zone and reaching the state of flow where you're just really enjoying your life, and where you realize that I am at the right place at the right time in my life. And that's also what I'm doing right now. I'm not really trying to attract anything. I mean, I do have like a vision board. Oh, birds. I do have a vision board and I do meditate. I try to meditate every single day, but I'm still really bad at sticking to a routine. But I'm not overly trying to attract things. I'm just living my life, as they like to say, and whenever I feel like I'm doubting myself again, I realize that I am at the right place at the right time and that it just happens for a reason. And I think I also want to apply that to this whole Corona time, because this was the year that I envisioned as my breakthrough year. This was the year that I wanted to break through as a makeup artist. I wanted to apply for trainings and for, you know, I wanted to be on set again, and I wanted to, I don't know, I just wanted to put all my energy into my makeup and see where I would, you know, where it would take me. But then Corona happens and nothing of that has happened yet. I mean, I had a paid photo shoot yesterday, so yay, thank you. But apart from that, I'm very realistic that maybe for the rest of the year, or maybe as long as Corona isn't fully under control, that maybe my dream of being a full-time makeup artist might be on hold. I'm very realistic in that. And I can be sad about it, or I can have this mindset of, you know what, it is what it is, and I should be grateful for the things that I do have, and I can just, you know, try whatever I can and we will see how it goes. Maybe this is just all something that, you know, was supposed to happen, and maybe I will only get my breakthrough in 2 or 3 years, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, I just want to say that being a little bit more spiritual, being a little bit more mindful has really helped me to look at life in a different perspective. And it's also something that I like to talk about with other people and to give them advice. For instance, I have a friend who's a designer and she was sort of no longer designing. I think she lost the flow a little bit. And I just started talking to her and I was talking about, you know, how talented she is and that maybe you should at least try it. You know, you never know that somebody discovers you. And, you know, just a little bit of a motivational speech. And she started designing again. And then I got a message saying that, you know, I was sort of the extra push that she needed to start designing again. So I just want to do these kind of videos as well to maybe reach people out there who are going through something similar. Maybe you're feeling down or you're having self-doubt, and maybe you can take these kind of videos as a way to be inspired again and be more positive again. I know that, you know, those things that happened to me aren't massively dramatic. I mean, I know it's not the same as finding out that you're, you know, that you have a certain illness or going through a divorce, or, and I know that you can't compare those very drastic things to something like, oh, I was just having some self-doubt. I know that. And I'm not gonna say that if you go through something really bad that you can just be like, oh, but maybe this is all happening for a reason and I will become a better person after it. I know, it takes time, but I think I just want to put this message out that you can become a stronger person after you've been through a very shitty period. And that's all I want to say. So you can use bad things that happen in your life as a learning school, really. That's just how I look at it. That's how I, you know, that's why I feel like breakdowns can lead to breakthroughs. I guess that's what I wanted to talk about today. I hope you like this video. It's a little bit more spiritual, but like I said very early on in the days when I was starting YouTube, which is like 2 months ago, but I really want to talk about those kind of things as well. That's why I called myself the mindful makeup artist, and maybe I should try to talk about makeup a little bit more because I feel like I haven't done that in a while. The thing is, I also don't want to put myself into a box. I don't want to be like I'm only a makeup artist. I'm so much more than that. So that's why I want to do all these different things. But hey, let me know what you think about this type of video, if you liked it, if you didn't like it. If you didn't like it, that's fine, just give me positive feedback. And yeah, take care, be nice, and I hope to see you soon in my next video. Scrolling. It's as I have shit.